Good evening. You are watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. The Ministry of Health reaffirms its readiness to deal with any cases of coronavirus, and the Public Authority for Civil Aviation suspends all flights to China. Sultan Qaboos University hosts an international conference to discuss the latest developments in biomedicine and scientific research. And the Sultanate's GDP reaches over 21 billion Omani riyals by the end of the third quarter of last year.
أقسم بالله العظيم أن أحترم النظام الأساسي للدولة والقوانين، وأن أرعى مصالح المواطنين وحرياتهم رعاية كاملة، وأن أحافظ على استقلال الوطن وسلامة أراضيه.
Those were the headlines. Now for the news in detail. His Excellency Dr. Ahmed bin Mohammed Al-Saidi, Minister of Health, chaired today the third meeting regarding the latest developments of the novel coronavirus at the Ministry of Health headquarters. The meeting brought together a number of Ministry of Health undersecretaries, directors generals of health services, directors of hospitals and various governorates, along with senior officials. The meeting addressed the measures taken to combat the novel coronavirus and reviewed the global situation of this disease, where the World Health Organization classified this disease as public health emergency of international concern.
There has not been any case of the novel coronavirus in the Sultanate of Oman as yet. The Ministry of Health and its partners are well prepared to deal with any event related to this virus. Unfortunately, the virus is spreading very fast across the globe. The death rate, fortunately, is less than what was in SARS and the other coronavirus which the world faced previously. Please follow the instruction given by the Ministry of Health and other health authorities. Rumors, unfortunately, are spreading everywhere. If in doubt, contact our call center. We have several numbers also which will be in the newspapers to give the accurate information. As yet, there is no vaccine and no medication for this virus, but the majority of the cases are mild. And I have to repeat again, there has not been a single case registered in the Sultanate of Oman as yet. Our partners, and that's airports and other ports of entries, ports and other ports of entries are ready, and there are procedures which will be followed with everybody who is coming to the Sultanate of Oman.
The Public Authority for Civil Aviation announced suspension of all flights between the Sultanate and China. It said in a statement that within the framework of the Public Authority for Civil Aviation's follow-up of the recent developments of the epidemic situation of the emerging coronavirus, and after coordination with the Ministry of Health, the authority suspends all civil aviation flights between the Sultanate and the People's Republic of China as of February 2nd, 2020 until further notice. The Shura Council office in its meeting discussed a number of topics related to water delivery fees in the governorates, as well as providing filling points for electrical cars and fuel stations in the Sultanate. During the meeting, the Council reviewed the letter by the Committee of Food and Water Security on the reply of the Council of Ministers regarding the visions of the Council related to the International Agreement on Dry Lands. The meeting also focused on two annual reports by the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries Wealth and the Ministry of Regional Municipalities and Water Resources for the year 2018. The meeting was headed by His Excellency Khalid bin Hilal al-Ma'wali, Chairman of Shura Council. The International Bioethics Conference kicks off at Sultan Qaboos University, presided over by His Excellency Sheikh Abdullah bin Muhammad al-Salmi, Minister of Endowments and Religious Affairs, in the presence of His Excellency, the Vice Chancellor of Sultan Qaboos University. More details in the following report by Abdullah bin Ahmed al-Rubai.
The second International Bioethics Conference, Ethical and Legal Issues of Emerging Biomedical Sciences and Research, commenced at Sultan Qaboos University. The conference is organized by the National Bioethics Committee in cooperation with Sultan Qaboos University and UNESCO. This three-day event seeks to address contemporary and emerging challenges related to legislations that govern and relate to existing and emerging bioethical issues. The topics included will cover the interlinked relationships between bioethics and legislations, advances in medicine and biology, issues at the beginning and end of life, and issues related to medical practice.
Well, the objective of this conference is to create a forum of reflection and dialogue between the regional Arabic area and all part of the world, with a focus on the role of UNESCO as a leading international organization.
The conference will explore how regulatory measures beyond legislation can aid to advance the aims and objectives of bioethics and legislations, especially with the rapidly changing fields of science and medicine.
It's the second time that Oman is collaborating with UNESCO in organizing this conference. I think it's very important to reflect about the development of science and technology and how it can impact the way we do research and the way we protect our populations in research, but also in the way that we provide healthcare. We have to make sure that we take advantage of all these advances and that we improve in the service that we provide, but at the same time that new challenges or new risks of not protecting in the right way the dignity and the integrity of the people are also taken into account.
This is our second international conference. I could say from the papers we are presenting and the quality of the paper, the quality of the people, each one of them is a scholar by his own reputation.
Speaking at the opening ceremony, His Excellency Dr. Ali bin Saud Al Bimani, the Vice Chancellor of Sultan Qaboos University and Chairman of National Bioethics Committee, said that the committee seeks to formulate a clear path to deal with ethically contentious medical issues in the spirit of the tolerance of Sharia and the developments of modern science. During the conference, Dr. Muhammad Ali Al-Bar, Director of Medical Ethics Center, International Medical Center, Jeddah, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, was honored for his service and scientific contributions in the field of bioethics along with other colleagues. The award was handed over to them by His Excellency, the Minister of Endowments and Religious Affairs. Abdullah bin Ahmed al-Rubai, Sultanate of Oman Television, Sultan Qaboos University, Muscat.
Chinese Vice Premier Sun Chunlun inspected today the newly built Hushanshan Hospital, one of the two emergency specialty field hospitals in central Chinese city of Wuhan, epicenter of the novel coronavirus outbreak. With 1,000 beds, the hospital is the first in China built specially for those infected with the new virus. It will begin to receive patients tomorrow after being handed over to the People's Liberation Army. Meanwhile, officials from the WHO in Egypt said that they were working to prevent the spread of the virus that has killed more than 300 in China, with cases reported in several other countries. The WHO's regional director for the Eastern Mediterranean, Ahmed al-Mandari, stated that there were 6 confirmed cases of the virus in the region, including 4 from the same family in the UAE. No other Middle Eastern country has reported a case so far. China today confirmed that there were 14,380 cases on the Chinese mainland. Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan said that Turkey may launch a military operation in Idlib unless the fighting there is halted. The U.S. Special Envoy for Syria said that the Idlib fighting raised the specter of an international crisis. Turkey, which already hosts 3.6 million Syrian refugees, fears a fresh wave of migrants. It has 12 military observation posts around Idlib set up under an agreement with Russia and Iran, and several of them have since surrounded by advancing government forces. Fires continued to burn across Australia today as dozens of homes were destroyed in New South Wales near the Australian Capital Territory. The danger from the biggest blaze that had hit Australia had eased, but the extent of the damage was only just being realized. The homes that were lost were in the Bumbalong area south of the capital. During the night, there was more than 60 fires still burning across New South Wales, including one in the Blue Mountains, which has been burning for several weeks. Australia's devastating and prolonged bushfire season has killed 33 people and an estimated 1 billion native animals since September. About 2,500 homes have been destroyed, and more than 2.8 million acres of tender dry bushlands have been razed.
فيا أبناء عمان الطاهرة في كل مكان، يا جنودها البواسل في كل ميدان، استعدوا بارك الله فيكم لمواصلة المسيرة بكل عزم وإصرار وقوة ومضاء. فعمان بحاجة إلى المزيد من البذل والعطاء والتضحية والفداء والعمل الجاد المثمر البناء.
Water sector was among the main sectors that received attention by His Majesty the late Sultan Qaboos bin Said during the development of the country's infrastructure. The first water desalination plant was built in mid-1970s, and later on many water desalination plants were constructed. Over the years, desalinated water production reached over 380 million cubic meters. The water pipeline networks and pumping stations were constructed, also taking into account future spatial and population needs. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos promised to work in order to make Omanis live happily in 1970 was fulfilled, starting from issuing royal directives to establish the Ministry of Water to provide water services to cities, rural villages, and industrial estates. Water service coverage grew exponentially over the years from 38% in 2007, serving more than 169,000 subscribers, to covering more than 67% by the end of 2019, serving over 600,000 subscribers. To achieve water security, the Public Authority for Water adopted a strategic plan to construct desalination plants in most governorates of Oman. This includes the new Ghubra water desalination plant in the governorate of Muscat and Sohar water desalination plant in the governorate of North al-Batina. The Public Authority for Water is working relentlessly to achieve its target to cover 98% of land schemes in Oman by 2040. Still to come in our news bulletin. An archaeological mosque in the wilaya of Nazwa is an active scientific and cultural edifice.
لقد شاءت إرادة الله سبحانه أن نفقد أعز الرجال وأنقاهم المغفور له بإذن الله حضرة صاحب الجلالة السلطان قابوس بن سعيد بن تيمور رحمه الله، رجل لا يمكن لخطاب كهذا أن يوفيه حقه وأن يعدد ما أنجزه وما بناه، فجزاه الله خير ما جزاه، سلطانا عن شعبه وبلده وأمته، وأنزله منازل الصالحين وجعل مثواه في جنات النعيم.
Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. Empowering bodies concerned in the labor market top discussions of the first meeting of the Supervisory Committee of the Labor Market and Employment Laboratory within National Program for Economic Diversification (Tanfidh). The meeting reviewed work plan this year and what has been achieved regarding the employment initiatives. The meeting was presided over by His Excellency Sheikh Abdullah bin Nasser Al-Bakri, Minister of Manpower. Sultanate gross domestic product recorded a decline by 2.06 by the end of the third quarter of 2019, amounting to 21 billion Omani riyals compared to the same period of 2018. The statistics issued by the National Center for Statistics and Information pointed out that the oil activities recorded a decline by 3%, amounting to over 7 billion Omani riyals. Natural gas activities increased by 2% and reached around 1.2 billion Omani riyals. Non-oil activities recorded over 14.9 billion Omani riyals by the end of the third quarter of 2019. According to the National Center for Statistics and Information, the service activities came on top of non-oil activities recording over 10 billion Omani riyals. The archaeological Grand Mosque of Sal in the Wilaya of Nazwa is a historic monument and a religious, scientific and cultural edifice that is still active. More details in the following report by Saleh bin Khalfan al-Rahbi.
The Grand Mosque of Sal in the Wilaya of Nazwa is one of the oldest mosques in Oman, despite the fact that it was built in the 8th year after Hijrah. The calling to prayer in this mosque is still present to this day, and to keep its remarkable architectural and archaeological style, this mosque went through several renovations. The most recent one took place during the reign of His Majesty Sultan Qaboos bin Said, may his soul rest in peace.
This Grand Mosque is still active, built in the 8th Hijri year, which means it is 1433 years old now. This archaeological mosque is still an Islamic and Arabic platform where teaching sessions are carried out.
The Grand Mosque of Sal has a spacious prayer hall. The entire wall within which the mihrab is set is richly adorned. The mihrab is decorated with Quranic inscriptions in Kufic calligraphy, forming a beautiful masterpiece that reveals the creativity of the Omanis in architectural design and decoration.
The mihrab that is behind me now was built in the year 650 after Hijrah by the scholar Ahmed bin Ibrahim bin Muhammad as-Su'ali, whose name is still written in the mihrab.
The Grand Mosque of Sal is renowned for this circular tower, which gives the building a rich architectural splendor. The mosque is also surrounded by ancient lanes and palm groves, enabling this monument play its historic, religious and cultural roles over the years. صالح بن خلفان الرحبي, ولاية of Nizwa, الداخلية, Governorate.
This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's news bulletin, here are the main points once again. The Ministry of Health reaffirms its readiness to deal with any cases of coronavirus, and the Public Authority for Civil Aviation suspends all flights to China. Sultan Qaboos University hosts an international conference to discuss the latest developments in biomedicine and scientific research. And the Sultanate's GDP reaches over 21 billion Omani riyals by the end of the third quarter of last year. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, good night.